Hello, my name is Alejandro Navarro. This is my project for risk management, chapter 7, and my project is called Assuring Shelter and Safety and Safekeeping in Healthcare Societies. How management should and endorsement affect payroll. They must have the national Medicare and Medicaid requirements. These authorities should operate within jurisdiction, the hospital proper accreditation, or they will not be considered qualified. Remember, there's a difference between shelter and refuge. Safety is like an umbrella protecting someone in the rain. Techniques for security risks are uh, root cause inquiry, red guidelines, industrial unemployment, etc. Risk assessment has the following categories: covered, tenacious shelter, contagion control, and disaster preparedness. Best reason for performing risk or cost explanation, efficiency, breaking obstacles, self-analysis, and employment. Recognizing and responding to ecological perils. There are several hazards that can affect healthcare personnel, such as organic, biochemical, and even harm. The OSHA provides statistics on how to thwart and retort to these perils. Every healthcare facility should have a written plan on how to manage menacing litters, how to prevent infectious waste and management. It is best to have waste management, especially since it's hazardous to the environment. Some ways to help recycling is compositing waste in your garden, buy items made of recycled content, bring eco-friendly bags, and attempt to buy in bulk. And an inclusive, transmissible waste management plan should include sections on perilous litter supervision, biological infectious waste management. Biological waste is extremely perilous and solid excess that contains pathogens sufficient virulence and unsatisfactory superiority that exposure of a disposed human or animal to that solid waste, whether the putrid and transferable waste is mixed with other, so it is treated as collected medical waste. These organic wastes are human tissue, bacterial body waste, and body fluids. Chemical wastes are defined as any liquid, solid, or gaseous substance that are incendiary, volatile, and poisonous. Examples of chemical waste spills are spent solvents, sides, and insecticides. HA occupancy. All employers make offer to managers the info perils related to any dangerous chemicals. Active waste. Full alternates used in a variety of diagnosis and treatment methods. Waste within the hospital is only 10%. There 5 is transmittable and lethal. The rest of the waste is 85% waste. Some excellent ways to get rid of is some excellent ways to get rid of waste is have the waste in solid form, have a suitable character that keeps waste safe, metal trims, and if necessary, burn the solid waste to keep it at a minimum. Every hospital or healthcare clinic must have a stern safety protocol for the employees and clinics. Hospitals welcoming should have a gratifying and welcoming for the patients. Each hospital decides to use the state-of-the-art technology in order to solve different situations. So necessary to have a policy to deal with hostile intruders. How to prevent gate crashers and welcome companions. Projecting a healthcare facility intruders is a multi-step process. Have certain checkpoints to stop potential burglars, trespassers. To have requirements for card swipes, radio frequency identification, chip recognition. Security guards and stations can help prevent any potential intruders. Patients usually arrive with all types of valuables like credit cards, jewelry, eyeglasses, and cell phones. Every hospital and clinic has a secure place to store the patient's valuables. It's usually a safe or locker room within the hospital just to store their valuables. However, it doesn't stop every potential treat valuables. There's extra security with cameras to prevent theft by employees. Sometimes the theft steamed items are done by their own employees. Some of the thieveries include scrap metal, laptops, drugs, and money. Hospitals hire plainclothesmen to work covert investigations to halt the thefts by employees. Whether you are staying at a hospital, keep your valuables in a safe place or just leave them at home. It's easier that way. Infant abduction. Infant abduction has been sporadic yet insistent over the past few years. These frightening incidents have been keeping steady since 1983. Regular abductions have been declining about 50% since the years of about 1983, then 1992, and also 1993 to 2006. In order to prevent such abductions, RFID tags are attached to the infants. The tags are weight sensitive in order to prevent potential kidnapping, workplace violence, and stress. During the year of 2009, the U.S. Department of Justice reported over 572,000 non-fatal forceful crimes. This include such serious crimes as rape, simple assault, and robbery. These crimes usually include people over the age of 16. Only 0.9 to 10.1% happens in an authentic hospital situation. Even though the workplace hostility should be inhibited or halted altogether, it is exceptionally underreported. Workplace violence, part 2. Some of the workplace violence. Some of the nurses on duty only report 44% of any workstation hostility. The reason for this justification is nurses claim it is part of their everyday job. But in my opinion, if it's happening, they should stop it. I mean, they're in charge, so they should just halt it altogether. Increase in hospital violence may be due to fostered gang activity, use of commune hospitals to treat rowdy prisoners, and the emergent use of alcohol and drugs among youthful people. Several analyses done state that healthcare personnel of ailments can also cause extreme anxiety for the staff. As violence, firearms, and gangs. Every hospital must be prepared to deal with gangs and brutality they perpetrate on innocent victims. In order to prevent any such attacks, added security with metal detectors should be included. However, there can be some individuals can sneak their lethal firearms into the hospital's extra security to avert any gang participants or terrorists from taking a hospital hostage is vital. Workplace violence, changing roles when dealing with security. Roles of employees may be switched during a hostile situation with the fire, for example. During a threatening fire, first responders are in control. A group of institutional safety officers will take charge and direct staff. MTs arrive. The facility workers will make sure that the fire protective systems are in fully functioning order. Information systems. Info systems are the organized systems for storage and data. The info systems for accounting and billing were first used during the 1960s. By using a giant database, the institute is able to store all personal info within computer terminals for safety, similar to the cloud or OneDrive or whatever you call it now these days. Any unauthorized access of information can be stopped via common workstations and internal networks. The Healthcare Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, also known as HIPAA. This act was also known as HIPAA and was signed by President Bill Clinton on August 21, 1996. This law was created in order for ransomware or any type of hackers from stealing patients' info. HPA has 5 titles or sections within the act. Title 1 is Health Insurance Reform. Title 2 is the Administrative Simplification. Title 3 is Tax Health Provisions. Title 4 is Application and Enforcement of Group Health Plans. And 5 is revenue offsets. Fire safety. The average fire department responds to 3,750 structure fires per year. These fires range from 2003 to 2008 for healthcare facilities, substance abuse, and mental facilities. These fires caused a massive 26.9 million in property damage. However, damage actually decreased in number by 70%. The best way to prevent any potential fires is with emergency exits, sprinklers, and a fire extinguisher. Fire safety and continued. Fire codes in the United States is considered mandatory based on county, statewide, and federal law. The owner of the building must have a fire safety plan on hand in case. Within the country of North America, 8 million buildings are legally required to have a fire safety plan. A copy of the fire safety plan should also be made to the fire department. Faculty patient design. In order to have the and secure building, it must have numerous principles. Single patron rooms should have ample auditory range for use. Standard same-handed room blueprints will have consistent patient care, seamless washable surface. Should thwart any germs. Acceptable ventilation and air filtration reduces any infection. Location of and hand washing dishes near patient's bed. Low design principles, failure methods, effects analysis at each motif standardize the location of the equipment. Patrons and consults in the blueprint using an established checklist. Current and future designs bring in critical information for decision close to the patient. Hospital designs always try to diminish noise. Use adaptable arrangements that will function in the future. Express a government of morality, a group of moralities by which everything is measured. Begin the equipment program and mock-ups on day one. Ventilation and indoor air quality. Air ventilation within a hospital or mental facility is of great importance. Sources of ventilation are very important. The first possible source are the patients themselves. IAQ's codes and standards were created in 1894. These codes are for safety and air quality for patients in hospitals. The structural design of ventilation systems should improve ventilation. Water quality. Majority of water earth is salt water and therefore not drinkable. Some bacteria such as Legionella pneumophila can cause pneumonia. It's important to have healthy water to use and drink within hospitals. There are preventative methods to have healthy water, reduction of procreation opportunities when using water heaters, early treatment of domestic water systems like copper injection of chlorine dioxide and exposure of UV light. The use of the point of cistern permeation can help clear water. Construction hazards. During construction of a healthcare facility renovations, the site must be controlled to prevent any potential accidents. Personal working renovations may be susceptible to fire, electric shock, and falling debris. Best to have precautions to prevent any types of accidents. There are 10 construction concerns when building or renovating: working at heights, moving objects, trips and falls, noise and hand-arm vibration syndrome, which is kind of like your hand vibrating even after you stop using that power drill. Some others include material manual handling, collapse, and asbestos. Asbestos were originally considered a great building product, but because potential poisoning or air and safety hazards, it was banned. Discontinued since the 60s, I believe. Proper disaster planning, and it is essential to create an emergency plan, whether it is your family or police officers, medical personnel, EMTs. Discuss how prepared and respond to the types of emergencies that may happen. Duties that each family member will have. Practice as many details of your plan as possible. Emergency and disaster planning is very important. Several tips that can make sure you're equipped with exit signs, delegate safety that is clear, delegate exits with wheelchair admittance, and create rudimentary floor plans in black and white. My discussion question for Chapter 7 is, what tips would you recommend in order to be properly prepared for an emergency situation? And that is basically it. So thank you for watching and listening. That is all.